Hey guys, here's a 1991 Chevrolet four-wheel drive truck, Z71 I believe it was, that I traded for today. I traded the 64 Oldsmobile, the white one. Now before any of y'all get down on me, I've tried to sell the Oldsmobile. Nobody really has shown any interest in the car. I had it on there for $1,200. This boy messaged me, asked me if I'd be interested in trading. This is a 91 and I have a 90 model. Now I need the whole front end out of this truck. It's got a really good running 350 motor in it. 700R transmission that was replaced by the dealer back in 2003. This thing's got about 100,000 miles on it, but it still changes out really good. Now it could have been changed between then and now. Don't really know. It's super clean. If you crawl in there and look at it, it's not all greasy and nasty. It looks good. It's good and clean. And again, it changes gears good. So, you know, this thing may last another 50,000, 100,000. You never really know. But anyway, good transmission, good transfer case. The four-wheel drive works good. Good running 350 motor. I don't even know if the air works. This boy brought this truck over here today. I was a little bit pissed off. When we agreed to trade, there was a pile of shit in the back of this truck. I mean, my God, it was just a mess. You can see I'm burning the majority of it back here. That fire was huge and it's really burnt down. I keep going around with my shovel trying to throw it all back on top of itself and get it burnt down as good as I can. Once it cools off for a day or two, I'll come down here and bag that up and take it off to the dump. But I mean, I would have been absolutely ashamed to have brought that mess to somebody else to clean up. That was terrible. But anyway, most of y'all are probably looking at this truck thinking, man, you're an idiot. And I understand that, but I'm looking at the truck for what parts it has on it. It's got a good front bumper, good front valance, the tag thing here. The grill's good. It's obviously their own grill, but somebody spray painted it. Again, it's got a really good running 350 in it. The oil's real clean. The motor itself to me is worth $700 or $800. I've got a 69 GMC. Most of y'all have seen it. This motor will probably eventually end up in that truck. The 700R transmission and transfer case, that's $600 to $800. And you know, somebody could actually drive it down the road and try it out. So I can get my money out of it. Again, I had the Oldsmobile on Marketplace for $1,200. Didn't really have any interest in it whatsoever, other than just silly trades. This was the only thing that I was really interested in. And again, I need the whole front end, the front chunk and everything for my 90 model, possibly the rear end if the gears don't match. It's got good fenders. This door's been killed, but I got a good driver's side door. I do need a good passenger side door, and it's a good door. So, you know, if you was to go to a junkyard and fight with getting that door off, I think the last time I went to Seaton's, they wanted maybe $100 for a door. So, you know, that's money. This thing's actually got surprisingly good tires on it. So that set of wheels and tires, I don't know what those are off of, to be honest with you. I don't think those are Chevrolet wheels, but anyway, you know, those would probably bring $300, something like that. I need this fender, the door, the front end, possibly the rear end. The motor I can use. The transmission I really have no use for. I can rebuild them, but if it don't sell, then I'll put it up and just keep it for a rainy day. Now you can tell kind of by the interior mods in this thing, this old truck's been beat to hell and back. But to be honest with you, I don't think these people have owned it long. I found some paperwork in the glove box, and this truck hasn't really been around here very long. It belonged to another guy for a very long time, and he's probably sold it to whoever done all this crap and kind of beat the shit out of it. Now the truck is extremely rusty. I hate to kill these old trucks, but the cab, you can tell it's kind of sitting down. The cab mounts are shot. The frame's broke. They hooked something to the bumper and jerked the bumper off, and the part of the frame it was bolted to just come off with it. I've actually got all that laying up there. You can see where the frame has been. They've tried to repair it. It's broke again behind the repair. The truck's really not safe to be on the highway. So when the boy pulled this truck in here today, that was its last highway use. Now, I may run it back down the road one more time just so I can say, you know, the transmission is 100% good. And if I decide to park which I'm going to part the truck out. I don't know why I said decide to part the truck out when I decide to part it out, because right now the truck's coming in kind of handy. I cleaned the bed out. You can see I got some shovels and brooms. This has took me a while. It's a hell of a mess, but I've been hauling some old sticks and stuff from my bottom field here, throwing them in this fire, getting rid of them. So the truck's real handy. It's four-wheel drive. It runs good. The four-wheel drive works excellent. So it's really handy for doing little, odd jobs around here. And I may even tie like a tire to the front bumper or something to kind of push some of my old cars and stuff around. Just for now, eventually I am going to tear the truck apart. Maybe somebody can use the bed. The bed's not rusty. It's obviously come off another truck. This truck come out black with gray interior. Somebody's put this bed on it. I pulled the rubber mat up and the bed floor looked excellent. It's perfect. Some dings and dents, but if somebody needed a bed, this one might be okay. Especially if it was cheap enough, and it will be cheap once I decide to tear the truck apart. But for right now, I'm just going to use it around here. But again, I wanted $1,200 would have bought the Oldsmobile. The motor and transmission out of this truck's worth that to me. Not to mention the front chunk, the rear end. I need a leaf spring off of it back here in the back. There's a few interior pieces that are usable. It's got sport mirrors on it. I may use those on my 90. I don't really know. I can take those or leave them. It's got a good sliding back glass. Don't really need that, but it's there. The cab corners, the rockers, all that's just non-existent. They're completely gone. This truck come out of Missouri at some point or another, and that's why I say you can look at the paperwork and tell whoever's done all this crap to it hasn't had it that long. So it come out of Missouri, and looks like the last time it was inspected might have been 2018, something like that. So it's not been around here long. Somebody's just got it, and probably got it pretty cheap. Obviously they have to have them safety inspected. Probably the frame and the cab mounts and stuff got to the truck to the point to where it could not pass that inspection, and it made its way to Tennessee. I've run into a lot of these trucks like that. I've bought some out of Ohio, Missouri, Colorado. I've had several trucks that have just not, I've had one out of Colorado that was pretty rusty, but the frame and stuff was good. Anyway, a lot of these trucks make their way to Tennessee. We don't have safety inspections down here, at least not in any of the counties that I'm aware of. We used to have emissions. They actually killed emissions here in Tennessee, so we don't have to worry about any of that. So we can take something like this that they can't register anymore, and we can drive it on the highway. But anyway, so that's what I've traded the Oldsmobile for. Again, don't get down on me too hard. I know what the parts are worth, and I know what I had in the Oldsmobile, so I'm doing okay. The parts on this truck are worth twice what the Oldsmobile was to me, and that's really all that matters. Plus, I'll get some use out of this truck around my property here for a little while, again, until I get to where I just want to tear it apart, which may be a while. I've got several in line before I ever get around to fixing some of my stuff, so this old truck will have a little bit more of a life here, but it will more than likely die here unless for some reason I sell the truck. I don't think I will. I really need to use the parts, or maybe something happens to me and the wife sells it. But I do plan on tearing this truck apart at some point, but we'll use it until then. Guys, I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to watch this fire, let it die down, kind of scoop some of that stuff back into the middle, and get up here and get cleaned up, get in the bed. As always, I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.